What's up? It's live fire with my dad. Dad, what up?
Cha-ching, baby. Cha-ching.
So
fire
this
with Dad, baby.
Is this our first fire with Dad when you're on the road?
First fire with Dad when I'm on the road. First fire with Dad in the motorhome.
It is. It's a motorhome fire with Dad. I could have put that on the headline.
Yep, my motorhome fire with Dad, baby.
So tell us where you're at, what you're doing.
We're in Fort Myers, Florida, and relaxing at the RV place, and been to the beach, and we're just heading on vacation. Got here the 26th, and we're staying until the 17th.
Yeah, Mom said that you got a citation on the beach.
For what?
Said you were wearing a thong or something.
No, I was eating too much shrimp.
So how long? Let's start the conversation off here because we'll show the impact that how the roles are reversed. Because as a kid, the dad is usually guiding the kid growing up, correct?
Correct.
But as they get older, the roles get reversed. Because
big time.
when I was in Fort Myers, I guess it was 2 weeks ago. When was that? It was almost 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Last week ago, Tuesday.
And so week and a half ago, I was in Fort Myers, and you were planning on staying in Fort Myers for how long at that point?
We were leaving January 3rd.
Okay. And your son, the wise one, got on you pretty hard because, one, you're retired, you're semi-retired, you can work from anywhere. And I'm thinking, why in the heck would you want to come back to Northern Kentucky in the winter versus staying in Florida when you can do all your Zoom calls down there? So now when are you coming home?
17th of January.
So you went from a week to 3.5 weeks. Okay.
Actually, it'll probably be the 22nd when we get home.
Okay. So
because we're leaving here the 17th, it takes us about 3 days to get home.
So you were Mr. Miyagi, I was Daniel's son. Now the roles are reversed. You're Daniel's son, and I just taught you that.
Yeah, I'm sitting there. I'm wiping the car with a circular thing.
So it's pretty cool, though. You think about it, Dad, because there's a lot of people that can't work remote how you and I can. I can work from anywhere. I mean, I leave next. I was in Miami in January. I was in, where was that? Vail in January or December. Yeah, Miami in December, Vail in December, Naples in December, then Fort Myers to see you guys and come home. And then I go to Utah next week. We're shooting MPTV in Provo, Highland, Utah, and possibly, what's the other city? Another city out there we're going to. And then we're going to go skiing at Salt Lake City or in Park City, and I'll work for a little bit there. But it's pretty cool to be able to be remote and do what you do anywhere, right?
Yep. It's actually kind of different because this probably is the second, may actually be the longest vacation her and I have ever had since we've been married. Because I think the longest before was 3 weeks. This is going to be 3 weeks and about 4 days.
Well, it might be longer.
And she says it might be longer.
I'll never forget. We'll get back to the topic in a minute, but I'll never forget when you guys bought the house at Perry Park back in, was it 03 maybe?
03.
And Mom and you went down there for a weekend, and Mom never came back.
She never spent another night in our house.
And what was even funnier about it, I don't know if you remember this, but me, you, and Sam went to Branson, Missouri for Skeeter and G3's dealer meeting, and we were coming back, and we're fighting over whose house you're going to stay at because you didn't want to. We were getting home late at night. You didn't want to drive to Perry Park because it's about an hour drive from our house, and so you ended up staying at my house. And the next morning, we're having breakfast, and you went, I forgot I had a house in Erlanger I could have stayed at.
It's talking about me.
Yeah. But
that is true. The house was sitting there vacant.
Yeah. So here we are working remote. And I told people this back in March. I've always been, since 2008, I've really not been tied down anywhere specifically. In the last 5 years, especially, I've been traveling all over the country and some other countries as well. I can work from anywhere. I can do my job from anywhere. But when the pandemic hit back in March and everybody had, all the corporations, canceled offices and everybody had to go home, I told friends of mine, I'm like, it's going to be comical because so many of these big businesses have been forcing their employees to work in offices that they could be more productive somewhere they're actually going to enjoy. And here we are now they're all learning it. So they're going to be in for a rude awakening if and when these big corporations open their offices back up next 6 months.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think you're going to find a lot of these big corporations are going to be getting rid of some of their buildings, because perfect example is one of them right there in Cincinnati by Panera, where I always go. I used to do a lot of my coaching. Is a big IT building. It's called Cincinnati IT or something. Then they got the brand new building is about maybe 5 years old max. It's got 500 employees, and they just put a thing out about a month ago that all their employees now are going to be permanently at home, and they're selling the building.
Wow. Yeah, I heard.
The building's gigantic. Building's gigantic.
I mean, it makes sense because, I've always told our employees, like we have an office in downtown Cincinnati that I go to 2 or 3 days a week, and I'm there for 4 or 5 hours when I'm there. But a lot of our employees don't go there. They work from home. And I'm like, where you're comfortable, like don't waste an hour to drive somewhere, park in a parking garage, walk to the office. If you want to go there and there's a meeting, there's a reason, but to do it 5 days a week, like some of these companies have been forcing people to do just because they want to be able to have their thumb on them and know that they're there. People tend to thrive when you give them freedom.
Well, perfect example is in the big cities, like Chicago, New York, and places like that. It's amazing the number of, guys that drive, they'll get on the L and they're on the L for 2 hours to get to the office. They spend 8 hours in the office and they can drive 2 hours getting home, or they get caught in traffic in Chicago. When I was a kid, used to, I never forget this. My brother-in-law was working somewhere downtown in Chicago, and he was living in Chicago. And I asked him, I said, how long does it take you to get to work? He says, 2 hours. I said, you're only about 3 miles from the office. He said, I know. He said, I get on the expressway and it's dead stop for 2 hours. I said, well, that's got to be fun. He says, yeah, it's kind of stupid. But, so now I think you're going to find a lot of people. I found out two things are happening. Most people I find out, I believe it or not, are getting more done at home than they ever got it done through work.
Yeah.
Because they're a little more focused. I'm talking to your brother, Sam, and he seems to tell me that he gets more done sitting at home on his computer than he ever did at work, because you got so many distractions at work anymore. You always got everything else going on around you with all these coffee breaks and everything else, where home you just get focused in, and next thing you know, it's 8 hours later. And the other thing too is that they now have more time. So now if I spend 8 hours, like you just said, if I spend 8 hours at home, I'm not driving to work for an hour. Okay. I'm not driving back for an hour. So I've actually spent 10 hours at work. Now I can spend 9 hours at work and actually get more accomplished and still have an hour left over I didn't have before.
Well, and I think one thing that a lot of businesses have missed out on too is it's not all about the business. It's about the morale and the mindset of your people, your team. Because like me today, I work from home typically Tuesdays and Thursdays. And this morning, I love it. I get up this morning, I'm sitting in my office, drinking some coffee, working. And my son, Cole, comes downstairs, who's 16, who makes himself protein pancakes all the time. And he's like, Dad, you want a pancake? I'm like, sure. So he made me a pancake. I went in there, talked to him for a couple minutes, came back in, ate my pancake. And then lunchtime, oddly enough, we both were walking to the kitchen at like noon to have lunch at the same time. We talked there. So getting to interact with your kid. Now, granted, kid's not always home because of all the COVID shutdowns, but you're getting to interact with your family, see your family. It's less stress. You don't have to worry about getting up an hour early to get ready for work, an hour drive. You have a better frame of mind, and I think that's important. A lot of businesses probably neglected for a while. Now they've finally got to see it.
Well, the other thing too is this. I've noticed that a lot of my clients who were never doing one-on-ones that often, and I had to almost beat them up to do one-on-ones, are now doing 4 and 5 one-on-ones a week, because they're sitting at home and they're doing them over Zoom. And so now all of a sudden they got all kinds of time to do one-on-ones. And like the one client I had yesterday, he had 9 one-on-ones last week during New Year's.
Yeah.
And I'm going, my God. He goes, well, he says, I'm sitting in my office doing Zoom one-on-ones.
Yep.
The other thing too is this. I got another client who's been involved now in 1, 2, 3, 4 BNI chapters, 3 chamber meetings in 1 week, because he didn't have to drive anywhere.
Yeah.
And all these meetings are on Zoom, and so you don't got to drive anywhere. Your mom's saying hi.
I can see her. Hey, Mom, what up?
You're alive.
Hey, how come there's not a live fire with my mom? Why is it just dead?
because I'm the dad and she's the mom.
Well, cool.
It says fire
And,
with dad. Doesn't say fire with mom, does it?
So Ed commented on our post, blessed that you and your dad have such a great relationship. We've had our times, but yeah, we're scary. It's scary how similar we are. What has mom got on her face? What are those?
Brand new sunglasses I bought her.
That was like gigantic. What do you, as we wrap up, what do you think of the new graphics? The fire with dad and the little picture of you down there.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Just imagine. I want you to imagine this, that you weren't wearing a fake orange shirt in that picture if it matched the graphics. That's that Peep shirt. No, I'm saying the one down here in your picture.
That's an orange shirt. That's an orange. That's actually an orange shirt.
Okay, I want to see it in person in a couple weeks.
That's an orange sweater that I bought. I got a black shirt on and an orange sweater.
Okay, I'll let you pass on that one. I'm getting off here. I got a meeting to hop on.
All right. Well, have a nice day.
See you, Mom. See you, Dad. Love you guys.
All right. Love you too. Bye.